Hey everybody, what's going on? It's been a hot minute since the last video. Checking in. It's easier to do these videos when things are going well, and when things, when there's struggles, you pull up a little bit, like a turtle, I guess, or something like that, which I think is pretty normal. But that's probably when it's the most important to do, some of your kind of normal routine stuff. And so, trying to get my mojo back a little bit. Just been, I don't know, I go, I think I've said before, my life is like, everything's going great. I'm pushing everything, firing, talking to friends, talking to family, TV's off, workout is good. And then, you fall into, I think, seasonal stuff, changes, it could be an injury, it could be a setback in a part of your life. Didn't get the job you wanted, got fired, whatever it may be. Luckily I haven't had anything too major like that, which is, I'm thankful for that. But I think it's also hard to just be like, life is great, blah blah blah. It's like I don't know. I think that's kind of like the Instagram life or Facebook life or whatever, where you look at some people and you just think, oh wow, they've got everything figured out, they don't have any problems, because that's what they're posting on Facebook. That's what I definitely post on those things when I'm posting. So sorry, my nose is bugging me. So coming back from yoga, I think one of the things you can do to kind of get you through those times is to just go through the motions of the routines that you have served you in the past. So I'm driving home from Sunday morning yoga. Did I feel like going to yoga? No. Did I stay up till 1:30 in the morning, scrolling Reddit? Yes, I did. So did I want to wake up early and go to yoga? No, I did not. But I know I gotta right the ship, and I think if I just said, oh well, I was up late, I'm not gonna go, let me sleep in, and then all of a sudden you kind of just keep going down that path, and if you have things in your life that kind of, it's like a backstop, right? So what's a backstop? In baseball, the pitcher throws the ball to the catcher. Sometimes, especially in t-ball, or not t-ball I guess, but little league and stuff, if the ball, and sometimes even the pros, the ball gets past the catcher, right? And that could go on forever and ever. Not forever and ever, but it could go a really long way. So ballparks have put in what they call the backstop, and the backstop is when things are going really bad, when the ball gets past the catcher, right? The thing that was supposed to happen didn't happen. The pitcher was supposed to throw the ball, the catcher was supposed to get past the batter, and the catcher was supposed to catch it. If it gets past the catcher, the bad thing happens. There's a backstop to keep the bad thing from being way worse, right? So if the backstop is 5 yards behind home plate or whatever it is, that's as bad as it can get, and the backstop, if the backstop isn't there, that ball might go 10 yards, 15 yards, depending on how bad of a throw it was, right? So having a backstop, not only does it stop the ball, but when the ball hits the backstop, it bounces back. So let's say it's 5 meters back, so you make a 5-meter mistake, it's going to hit it. Or, let's say you make you make a mistake and you throw the ball, and, it would normally go 15 yards. It's only going to, not only going to go 5 yards, but it's going to hit it and it's going to come back. So maybe it's only, 5 yards or meters or whatever it is. So the backstop, not only does it limit how bad the thing can be, but it also gives a bit of a rebound. And, this is a pretty good analogy. So let's go in. Let's think about backstops in our life. And I'll talk about a few that I have, and if anybody's watching, which I doubt they are, you can put some in the comments that you have to help me out, and maybe anyone else is watching. But, backstop for me is work. That's a big one, right? Knowing that I have to show up, at a certain time, potentially, that I've got goals and things at work, means that when I'm not at work, or if I'm doing something bad, I know that I can't go too far off the rails, and that work becomes a backstop for me. So if things are sliding a bit, I can roll into work and, one, feed off the energy of my coworkers. Maybe somebody's feeling better than I am. At least I know I need to get up and get out of bed. I got to shower and look presentable, so I'm not just going to, sit at home and wallow in despair or something like that if I'm feeling depressed or whatever it is. So that's a type of backstop. Working out is a backstop, right? So going to the gym, taking care of yourself, even if you're just kind of going through the motions of it, instead of, it's a something you can do, that instead of sitting and watching Netflix or Facebook or drinking that margarita or glass of wine or eating that hoagie or whatever you're going to do, you go to the gym. Well, there's an hour and a half or whatever it is, drive time and everything, that you don't need to worry about, some of those things. So that can be a backstop. Going to that yoga class I just went to. Kids can definitely be a backstop. The kids wake you up first thing in the morning, so you can't just be up all night scrolling Facebook if that's your addiction. You can't, there's a lot of things that kids do, and they put, or it doesn't have to be kids, it can be other loved ones and things like that, but especially kids, because they don't understand that, you're tired. They don't understand that, whatever, they don't understand, being drunk or whatever it is. So, kids are a great one. Friends, having a friend who understands what you're going through, who might check in on you. Something I need to work on for sure. Spouse, parents, different people can be backstops for you if you allow them to be, which is another whole series of of stuff. What are some other backstops? So, if you go to an AA meeting or something like that, that could be a backstop for you. Do you have, what obligations do you have to your neighbors? Do you cut your neighbor's lawn once a week, and they are counting on you to do it? Maybe they're elderly or something like that. And so, I think sometimes it's easier to go do things for other people than to do it for yourself, and I find that to be true. So backstop. So let's think a little bit about the backstop, though. So let's take this analogy a little bit further. So, there's some problems with backstops, right? So one is you could throw that ball so bad that you're throwing it, maybe the backstop is 10 feet high and you throw it 12 feet high and it just sails over the backstop, right? So, the bigger you can build up your backstop, the better, right? In the pros, they even have like netting and all this other stuff to I guess that's not so much for the pitcher, but still, I mean, it's like a huge, there's no way that ball is going to get beyond that backstop with all of the stuff that they have there. So, the more of these things that we have, the bigger the backstop is. It isn't just one thing, it's all of these things. And so, when we're struggling, like I have been recently, you have all these things in place that have served you in the past, and that do good for help you and do good for you. It's sorry, I just got a text. It distracted me, but so building up all those backstops, especially in times where you're feeling good. This is something that's very classic for me. I will say yes to going to an event. I will say yes to doing something in a moment where I'm feeling really good. And then the day comes and maybe I'm struggling a little bit. And so, the day comes and you're like, oh man, why did I say yes to this? But you gotta realize that you said yes to it at a time where you knew that it was going to be something good for you. You were building up a backstop for you. Okay, so you say yes to that event. 2 months in the future. You do it in a time where things are going great. You're feeling good. You think it's going to be awesome. You get to the day of the event or whatever it is. If this isn't speak true to you, then maybe I'm really different than everybody. But this happens to me a lot. And you're like, why did I say I was going to throw this party? Why did I say I was going to, show up to this thing? Why did I, agree to this thing? Well, realize that it was still you who said yes to that. And it was you who was building up that backstop, knowing that future you was going to need things like this to, keep you going, to keep you on the path that was good. So, in that moment, if you can, try to find a little bit of clarity and be like, okay, well, past me, bravo, good job, you got me. And, realize that, if you're not feeling it, maybe examine that a little bit. Why am I not feeling it right now? Why did I say yes and then and not now? What's changed? What can I do differently? And then, how can I move forward? So we build up these backstops, especially in times where we have some clarity, where we're feeling good. You join a club, you make a commitment to coach a soccer team. Now all of a sudden, once or twice a week, you got to show up for these kids. Okay, and maybe you did it at a time of, even if you're not feeling it, maybe you just say yes to it because you realize that if you say yes to it, that it might be something that's gonna feed you a little bit, So yeah, backstops. This has been a good one. So what else? Let's think about this analogy. So, and I think let's talk about like that rebound, right? So you're heading down, you hit that backstop, right? So you're not feeling that party, you're not feeling going to work, whatever it may be, but you got to show up. It's the backstop. How do you get the most out of that rebound, right? Because we were talking earlier, the ball hits the backstop at 5 meters, keeping you from going down that path and just like going deeper and deeper and darker or whatever it may be. You hit it, and if it's a ball, it doesn't just stop there. Hopefully it stops and bounces back and you get a little bit of a rebound off of it. So what does that rebound look like in life, and can we do things to have that rebound be even bigger, right? So how do we get a bigger rebound? I think part of it is just realizing that things like work, things like volunteering, things like doing chores, making your bed, setting out your clothes the night before, all of those things that might feel like drudgery, or why do I have to do this, or maybe you're just not feeling it. If you could realize, oh man, this is a backstop in my life. If I'm not feeling this, it's a sign. It's a sign that of something. And how can I take a breath? Maybe how can I really try to embrace this? Thank myself for a little bit of clarity here. And it's not going to solve everything, right? You're gonna boom. You're not going to come back all the way up, to where the catcher was, but get that little bit of rebound, and then maybe you can use that to kind of help recover. So, anywho, just a little analogy for you on a Sunday morning. Sunday morning for me, and it's been helpful for me to chat about it. So if it's helpful for you, that's great. Even though nobody's really watching, but that's fine. Just kind of do it for me. Why I'm posting it on Facebook, I'll never figure out. But that's what it is. So let's see. All right, I think that's it for today. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye.